A massive ciao and an even bigger buongiorno to all of our viewers and to my very handsome colleague on my right, your left, wherever you're watching and whatever time it is in the world. Bruno knows what time it is. It's Champions League time. 2:45 in the morning tomorrow, bro. I bet you're keen for that.
Mate, I wasn't keen until I saw the games in the Champions League tomorrow. And it's just, I'm glad Inter's not playing at the same time as Real Madrid or the PSG Man City game or the Atletico AC Milan game, because at the end of the day, you want to watch as much as you can. So positive, negatives, but I just feel it's game after game at the moment. We're doing match previews non-stop because it's this fixture congestion we're facing.
Everybody knows we're still playing catch-up football from January 2020. COVID wave 1, when they set everybody back. We are going to keep playing domestic and international fixtures to accommodate for the time lost then. There is a lot to talk about and to go through in a very short amount of time. So we're going to get right into it. But before we do that, a little bit of housekeeping. This video is sponsored by the one and only Serie A Fantasy. We thank them. It has been a fantastic opening match day. So just for a minute, head over to Serie A Fantasy.com, a brand new interactive platform where you can put your knowledge of Serie A to the test. The dream team of round 5. Whoops, I can't really get it up in that tab, but that's okay. If you picked Osimhen, who is killing it, Fabian Ruiz, who is killing it. Basically, if you've picked some Napoli players in your side, kudos to you. But what you guys are going to do if you're watching this video, you're going to head to the leagues tab over here, and you are going to join the private Inter Worldwide League using the code, okay? The code will be in the description. It's actually up here on the screen if you're watching this video right now, but we will drop that in the description as well. We've already got 32 people playing, and I need to pick on somebody. I'll usually pick on someone who's not doing so well. Oh, look at that. Uncle Sharma down the bottom of the list. Let's pick on our boy Sharma. Vlahovic, another stinker. Every time Sharma puts Vlahovic in his lineup, he's not going to score. But one thing he's done very, very well is he's picked the two most informed midfielders in Serie A, bar maybe Pellegrini and Milinkovic-Savic, and that is in Fabio Ruiz and Nico Barella. Saving grace with that and your Hernandez and Skriniar picks as well. So, guys, jump on board. We've got a good league running at the moment. Serie A Fantasy. Put your knowledge to the test. Show us why you can pick the right team of performers. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Bruno, you looking forward to another match day?
Man, I can't wait. I've been waiting, like I've said, so long to have a proper fantasy league, and this is what we've been looking for. And our G, Mario Gags, I think
He's
it is.
He's been saying that for a year, that Fabian stinks. And we all know when Mario has an opinion or an agenda, even if you score a hat trick and bag 2 assists, he still sucks. So yeah.
Yeah, look, Mario, I'm glad you're on our Twitch, because a lot of people don't know about our Twitch, but look, it is always going to be great. So at the end of the day, guys, there's the code. We'll always have it in the description of our vids coming up, and just join and make your team. It's open to all, not just Inter fans. It's open to everyone. Bragging rights are on the line.
Yeah.
So let's get straight into it. We've got a must-win fixture against Shakhtar, who both, as like Inter on match day 1, we both lost. They lost probably who I would have thought were the whipping boys of the group, which may be a bit of a surprise to a lot, but it wasn't a surprise to me. You gotta look at it like this. De Zerbi's never coached on this type of level, so the occasion may have gotten to him. But Anthony, before we go into Shakhtar, because I know you're very eager to talk about them, let's just have a quick look at the probable lineup that Inter may be fielding. And if we have a quick look here, we'll just zoom in a bit. Handanovic in goals, Bastoni, De Vrij, Skriniar in our back 3, as well as Perisic, Brozovic, Barella, Dumfries, Hakan, Lautaro, and Dzeko up front. Is this how you see him starting?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. Unless, you told me off camera before that Inzaghi is a little disappointed with Dumfries' output. However, in this Champions League fixture where Shakhtar is going to come at us pretty hard, we need pace on the counter. And I know Damian can get behind the likes of the defenders, but I just really feel as though he's due for a rest after putting in a couple of really hard back-to-back shifts against Fiorentina and Atalanta. Those were not easy games for Matteo. And I think even though he's been found to look a little weaker this season than he was, he still actually performed adequately. And that's why he deserves a break. For our side, there's a few absentees. Vidal, I'm not too sure if he has traveled, but like I just said on Culture Connection, Arturo Vidal is at the point in his career where if you play him at 80%, he's walking off the pitch at 55%. He is not at a point in his career where you have to start him unless he has at 100% capacity. This guy is colo party to the days at the moment. He is not taking care of his physicality that much. Loves his hair, loves his tattoos, loves his teeth and his bling bling and his sneakers. But Vidal starting, unless he's at 100% capacity, you can't do it. Now, Bruno's number one baby G, Vecino, has been in great form, and it wouldn't be completely crazy to start him above Hakan. However, Hakan needs to be played into form. It's 6 games in and everyone's on his back. He's not going to be the Christian Eriksen we want. Just keep in mind, Christian Eriksen took 7 months to get off the ground for Inter. 7 months. So Hakan needs to be stuck with for now. You can't drop him this early. I think it would be it would be really bad for his ego. And I know that our friend Mario likes to use the words mental midgets, but hey, this is where non-mental midget managers come into the situation. People who can manage all forms of personalities. Hakan needs to start. Lautaro and Dzeko are going to have a good game as well. I really see this as a game where we create a lot of opportunities. We need to bury these opportunities, bro.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got to agree with you on Damian. But at the end of the day, Inzaghi, I think, is probably the manager we need at the moment for progression in the Champions League. And we've seen how capable he is in the Serie A, given the results. We're still unbeaten. But Dumfries offers that pace that I just feel we need in this fixture. We really do need. And look, at the you also got to look at up front. We've got a very fresh Correa on the bench as well. So if we are lacking, you can always chuck on Correa. You can always, if we're ahead, you take Hakan off and bring on Vecino. So there are so many options for Inter. We are spoiled for choice, and it's something that we really haven't had this luxury for a very long time, especially last season and the season prior. Lukaku was our main man. Anything happened to him, there's an issue. Whereas you look at this team and bar the defense and potentially Barella, you take any other player out, we've got a suitable replacement. And I think that's exactly what Inzaghi's gone for. Perisic, I cannot wait to see. I just think this game he will shine. I feel this will be Perisic's game. And I'll be more than happy to eat my words after the game, but I just feel he will be the man that's on fire. We always have that man of the match performance in our team, and I just think it'll come down to him.
Yeah, fair point, man. Look, he'll have a fair bit to deal with if he is playing. On that left-hand side, he'll have to deal with, I think Marlos is going to start on the right for Shakhtar, although I will use this time when you talk again to go and get more of a predicted lineup on my screen. But just off the top of my head right now, I know that they've got a couple of injuries, first-team injuries. So their absentees are Fernando and Junior Morias, who usually do start most games for them. But they've got some players returning back. Maicon, Dodo, and Lassina Traore, who leads the front line for them, is expected to return back to the side. So De Zerbi has still got most of the players that he wants to choose from. The only thing that I can think of that he might change is to put in Alan Patrick to support the 2 wide men who usually run riot as well. There, you've got it on screen right now. I was just looking for it on another site. That's fantastic. Well done.
There we go. So we've got Bayatov in goals, Dordo and Ismaili taking the right and left back positions, Marlon and Kristov in the center defensive, Antonio Barberan in the mid, Tete, you mentioned Patrick making his way back into the squad, and Ismaili in the attacking, and again, Traore. And this isn't a midfield that you really want to get past. This isn't a team that you can underestimate.
No, it's not. And their record speaks for themselves at the moment in the Ukraine. I know they lost their first game of the season. And, you know me, bro. I follow all sides that Inter has to compete against in a season. Whenever I see that we're coming up against a side in Europe, I always follow their progress. And as usual, they'll go toe-to-toe with Dinamo Kiev this season. They're 9 games in and they've only lost 1 game. I can't remember if they're 8-0-1 or 7-1-1, but they've got a very, very good record so far this season. Shakhtar, their only loss came from a pretty bizarre loss in the first game of the season at home. So I know that they're 4 wins on the bounce at home. They're at home against us in Kiev. Shakhtar are going to be confident that they can get something out of this game, and that's what you want. I don't want Simone Inzaghi coming up against teams that put 13 players behind the ball, 57 players behind the ball. I don't want that. We struggle to break down teams like that. So we're gonna need some space in order to do this. And I think that with Inter, if we can peg them back and fatigue Shakhtar early, their tactical setup will be unsustainable in the second half, in my opinion. So come out strong, fatigue Shakhtar early, and I think we can get away with 3 points here.
Yeah, definitely. And, De Zerbi's not known to sit back and, let teams like Inter come at him. He is the type of manager who will lead. But the issue is, and I think it's not an issue for Inter, but when you lose to a team like Sheriff, a team who is representing their country for the first time ever in a Champions League, a team where the expectation is very low for them because they've made it this far, and this was probably the cherry on the top for them. And you do drop points, it lights a fire. It teaches you a lot of lessons, and I feel that these lessons, if De Zerbi hasn't woken up to see and have that accountability, well, he's going to be on the back foot yet again. But it's a must-win for both teams. And it's as simple as that. It is an absolute must-win fixture for both of them, just for the fact that two teams are on 3 points, and one of those teams in Sheriff, you're expecting to finish not in a qualifying position. So you get the 3 points here. You've got the mentality coming up either for Shakhtar against Real Madrid or Inter against Sheriff. So it's a very important fixture on that front, because at the end of the day, you're looking at two teams who I can't say much about Shakhtar, but Inter really deserved at least a point against Real Madrid. So they're hungry.
They did. Yeah, we're very hungry, just as the way they will be. Like, both teams will be pretty wounded after the manner of their opening match day defeat, man. Like, nobody expected Sheriff to take everybody by surprise. So being able to claim one of the top 2 spots in the group is still a very, very realistic objective for both of these sides, not just us. You can guarantee you Shakhtar's pushing for that second position. There's only so many times they want to go to the Europa League. I know that they enjoy going to the Europa League more than we do, but at the end of the day, they want to do what's best for them, and they still consider themselves the powerhouse of the Ukraine. Dinamo Kiev might be slightly a bigger club, but Shakhtar won't say that, and they will stick to their guns and they will stick to their pride. Big up everybody who's watching this video. 14 people here right now. Big up everybody in the chat, especially the Twitch gang. We all see you. Indra Hari says Hakan is not as bad as people are talking about. He works hard defensively and makes some great tackles as someone who is in a natural position. Indra, that game against Atalanta is one of those games where if we score that penalty, we go from saying XYZ players had an average game to XYZ players had a good game. We pulled through. Hakan had a good game. Brozo had a good game. If we win that game 3-2 against Atalanta, everybody had a good game. Because we didn't win that game, we need to look for flaws in our players. It's just who we are as Inter fans and as football fans. We are fickle. We are hypocritical. We are goddamn sooks, bro. There's no other way to put it. Indro says again, yeah, he messed up some final passes at the third end, but that's not a surprise for me. Keep calm, and the hack and chemistry and form with our forward going to pick up. Absolutely, man. That's what we were alluding to before. A little bit of time. What's going on, Steel Devil? Thanks for joining us on Twitch. We're going to be doing a lot more content on there, especially with the more people that come along. Jono says they will definitely be this will be a hard game, especially at home. Yep, never easy to go to Eastern Europe, bro. You could be playing the team in the Slovakian 3rd division, and I swear it will be harder than some of the games you play in your own country. Hakan needs to step up. No excuse. He's been slacking. Up for debate once again. But yeah, let's just give him a little bit more time. Let's see how we're looking halfway through the Champions League group. Let's see how we're looking in that awkward period of October, November, which let's not forget, first week in November last season, the Italian media was all on the Antonio Conte is sacked by Christmas train. He was going to get sacked, bro. Everyone was unhappy. No one was happy. Inter crisis. Yeah, right. What did we end up doing? Winning something like freaking 11 games on the trot after that? Give Simone some time, Bruno, bro. He needs more time. Like, all the fans are very hypercritical at the first sign of adversity this season. It's his first season, and he's already showing that he's got a blueprint, he's got an identity, and he wants everyone to work hard to achieve it.
Yeah, and you got to remember, for a lot of Inter fans, and I'm not going to mention any names, but a lot of these fans, they joined in some of our darkest times. So with the first taste of victory, apparently, it's expected non-stop. And let me just put to you guys, what Juventus did for 9 straight years is an amazing feat. You got to give them credit where credit's due. But you can't expect another team to just do exactly the same thing. And you got to also understand that Inter, they have had probably the roughest off-season. Manager change, leading goal scorer change, wing back change.
Wait, are you talking about Juventus or are you talking about us?
Inter, mate. And the whole Eriksen injury and what's happened there. It's something where you can't prepare for a lot of this stuff. So at the end of the day, we're looking at a reformed Inter who has picked up where they've left off. Inter Worldwide, we shared a graphic a couple of days ago, if not yesterday. Look at Inter where they are now and look at where Inter were this time last season. We're already ahead of the game. So, albeit we had a tougher start last season, but you can only beat the teams or get points against the teams that are in front of you. And I think Inzaghi being undefeated this deep in, and his only defeat coming to the Giants in Real Madrid, there's got to be credit. And credit is handed to him. And I never thought I would see a manager allow Vecino to shine the way he did, and there was a lot of stress, not just amongst, Inter Worldwide, but a lot of Inter fans of Gagliardini. He was a wanted man from Inzaghi, and we thought, oh, here we go, next captain. Inzaghi's going to play him week in, week out. He hasn't done that. He's done what's best for the team, and we've seen what's best for the team. So ultimately, I think we got to leave our basic knowledge of criticizing this team. We can't all become coaches because we're not qualified to do that. You know, we can be backseat coaches and say, oh, yeah, you should have done that. That's all with hindsight, guys. Yeah, we don't know what's happening on that day. Simple.
Jono says Hakan has been terrible lately. I would disagree, bro, because was he terrible against Fiorentina? I heard a couple of fans say he wasn't good. I'll give you guys a second to just remember where our second goal came from. A consequential goal. Remember, every fan last season loved to make the whinge that no one, Lukaku's not scoring consequential goals, which is a BS term pretty much. They're saying that you're not scoring goals that change the game. You're a tap-in merchant. You score goals when you're 4-1 up, when you're 5-1 up. Well, I said it to Bruno before and I'll say it again. There are 2 players in this Inter team getting all the slack, and both of them are responsible for the consequential goal against Fiorentina 5 days ago. We hired a player like Hakan to deliver a ball or a set piece that results in a goal. We hired Idan Dzeko to finish those set pieces that result in a goal. Consequential goal. Idan Dzeko also scores the goal that makes it 2-2. So a lot of the hate that they're getting, I'm willing to reserve it a little bit longer. And I'm someone that loves to throw hate on our players. So trust me, guys, if I'm reserving it, I don't think it's as bad. But in order to finish this match preview, Bruno, are you a little worried that every time our goalkeeper takes the pitch, there could be a consequential error? Because we're going up against Shakhtar now, and they're going to have just as many cracks at us, I think, as Atalanta.
No, and the reason I say no is for the simple fact that we are looking at a goalkeeper who, look, he cops a lot of criticism, and 9 times out of 10, a lot of this criticism is because we're looking for someone to blame, right? We are looking for that person to put the goal on, and apparently Skriniar, De Vrij, Bastoni, they've become untouchable in the form of criticism. They had an amazing season last year. That's fantastic. But when you look at some of the goals we're criticizing him about, like, there's a deflection. You cannot change your direction. You cannot, you've planted your feet because the ball's coming in one spot. You can't do a lot of that. I think there is no one else in the Inter squad I'd like to see at the helm of the goals, let alone leading this team, because it's been such a long drought that's been broken for Handanovic in the sense of trophies. You got to think he's hungry for more. He's tasted that success. He's hungry for more. Even the Curva came out and released a statement. We stand by you, Handa. And the Inter Curva are probably one of the most deadliest when it comes to we're applying pressure, because of the fact that we don't like what's happening. We don't like what we see. Now, I'm going to throw it to our rivals in Juventus. They just Allegri proved, if you're not in form, it doesn't matter who you are, you get benched. And this week it was Schnezi, right? He got benched. Goalkeepers apparently are untouchable these days. I know you're a United fan. How long was De Gea in goals performing terribly? And you have pundits coming out saying goalkeepers should not be protected species. If they have an off game, you sub them off. If they're not performing well, you swap them.
If you've got F off money, though, most teams who have got F off money have got 2 goalkeepers that they can throw in at any given time. If you're Chelsea, you got 2 first teamers. If you're City, you got 2 first teamers. PSG, you got 3 first teamers. Like, at the end of the day, bro, man, Inter's in a position where I don't think we've got an adequate first goalkeeper. And people can disagree all they want, but every single week, you're anxious now, no matter what. Even if you admit, this one's not Hunter's fault, you're anxious. Why are the rumors in the background creeping up that we're looking to bring Onana in January? Even I'll say that's a bad move. You can't do that, because you can't tell your captain, bruv, not only were we backing you at the start of the season, you've done that poorly, we're pulling you out halfway. That can't happen. Management and the board need to now back their decision, and they are going to have to start him every single game, because the only thing worse than starting Handanovic, in my opinion, is benching him at this point. And that's really, really sad to say, because we don't have adequate replacements. If we did, Radu would have gotten a chance by now.
Yeah, look, unless you're giving Handa and you approach him in the sense of, I want you to be a mentor, I want this to be a mentor role, and Brazal, or who's currently injured at the moment, or Radu, I want you to mentor them, because when it comes to Coppa, I want them to step in and I want them to follow your lead, because we idolize you. You're a fantastic goalkeeper. And you put in his head that you're building the future of Inter. He's not getting any younger. But at the same time, we're letting ourselves down by not actually investing in the future. Now, I'll tell you now, Radu is a fantastic keeper. And you got to give him the chance, because the end of last season, his agent wasn't happy at all. He wanted more game time. I think you got to give him more game time. I think come match day, whatever, in the final match day in the Champions League, I'd love to say Inter have qualified and we've progressed to the next stage by this point, prior to facing Real Madrid. Chuck Radu in. One, you're chucking him in against a team who any goalkeeper would be scared to play against. But 2, the pressure's on. And I could picture him having a blinder of a game, and Honda can't complain. Well, it's a non-consequential game. At the end of the day, it's non-consequential. We're chucking that word around a lot. But this game is non-consequential, because even if he is a complete, trying to find a nice word, even if he's completely terrible, well, the result won't have a big impact. And you know what? Honda, stay at home. We don't want you to travel to Madrid. Eventually, You're going to have that. But like you said, management have backed him. Management have come out and said He is our captain. He is our leader. But we've seen time and time again, when management wants to make a decision, they do. And we've seen it with Conte. We saw when we stripped Icardi of the captaincy. You know, we didn't just strip him. We stopped playing him altogether. He was the best striker Inter had over the previous 3-4 seasons. No, I'm sorry, you're done. And everyone backed him. But I feel Handanovic has a bit more of a currency with Inter as a whole to disrespect in that manner, but approach him in a respectful way and say, look, we want you to develop the future. I don't know.
No, I'd have to agree, man. I'd have to agree. But as I said, like, it all comes down to us, the board and the management, really having to back our decision now, bro. Like, you wanted to stick with Handanovic as the starting goalkeeper at the start of the season, knowing very, very well he was in decline. You need to back him till the end of the season now. But the writing will be on the wall by the end of the season when we look back at some of the mistakes that are made and think, you know what, it's all well and good when you've got a coach like Conte who pisses the league by 5 games and 15 points. But these days, the zeros and ones of the errors are going to add up a little bit more. This absolutely flew, this 25 minutes. That was actually quite awesome. Thank you to the 13 people who are still here. Make sure you like the video, share it around. Thank you so much to Bruno for stopping by, and we're gonna speak to you guys again at some point tomorrow. I can't promise that it'll be straight after the game. I can't even promise it'll be during the game, but it will be at some point after the Shakhtar game, Bruno.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to say, Ant, keep an eye out, because my fantasy team will be one to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah, sure, bro. I look forward to you putting Vecino in your starting 11 for fantasy, bro. Watch what happens. Knowing your luck, you'll put Vecino in about 5 minutes before kickoff. Like, breaking news: such and such pulls out with an injury, and Vecino will come in and score 2 goals and bag an assist, and you'll get 47 fantasy points in your first week, bro. Because that's just your level of luck, guys. If you haven't yet, make sure you sign up for the Serie A Fantasy. The link is in the description. So is the code. From Bruno, from myself, from everyone at Inter Worldwide. Forza Inter, let's get 3 points in the Champions League. Ciao.